The banks for these many months without you know uh, opening up in many branches. I don't know what happens to their employees that they had, because I've seen a number of employees from certain bank branches all being one bank branch. And I've seen like for one every Bank of America, for example, five of them may have closed. Because I see it everywhere I go. So it's like spread out to get to a branch that's open anymore. You know, um, so you would say, like, for example, you would have King of Prussia open, and then you'd have Bryn Mawr, and then Lionville. But all along the main line, all closed down and all. Now you have City Line. So it's four branches. The next branch I think you'd have to go to, I don't even know. Between having to go out to maybe Willow Grove or Abington, I think it is. The one in Horseshoe. I don't know if one of them is closed or what, but one of them is definitely open. And this has happened with the other banks like WFSS, and Wells Fargo. It's happening with TD and Citizens Bank and all. And you think that they would open up, to get all the change and get it back into circulation. And the mint, and now, well, we need to also convince Trump to, get the Federal Reserve Bank to continue being the Federal Reserve Bank, as evil as it is, to continue pressing Federal Reserve notes as the U.S. currency, and not to go along with the World Bank system of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. This is important. You want privacy. This is another issue of privacy as well. And having a stronger American economy. You do not. If you do this, you're definitely not going to have a good American economy to go along with the World Bank system. It's just plain evil. And we also need to have nothing to do with any of these apps with China, with TikTok, or whatever the other one is. I forget. No. Do not download these apps on your phone at all. They're going to be tracking you down and stealing information from you from your iPhone and your smartphone. You don't do these things. You got to use your head here. Anything from China is bad, is evil, is no good. They invade your privacy. They're going to track and find things out about you that you don't want them to know. Listen to your conversations. You want that? You can't trust anything from China. You got to just get them completely out of your life, out of the United States. Everything. The only thing I would keep in China, in the United States, is the Chinese buffet. And then they're not healthy for you either. Oh, I know, because I've eaten at so many of them, and it's unhealthy food. It tastes good. At least a lot of it. But then there's things in the Chinese buffet that don't taste so good either. Yeah. And this is where I actually picked up my yeast, years ago originally, because I remember having yeast, and having bad sushi from one of those Chinese buffets. Yeah, once you do this stuff, you can get into not just your kidney, but other organs, this bacteria, and whatever else, is in the food. I don't think I ever ate dog before at a Chinese buffet. At least I don't know. Did I have Pomeranian? Maybe Pekingese. Did I have German Shepherd? I certainly hope not. You would never know anymore, is what I'm saying. But, we're talking about Chinese buffets in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland. Where else did I have? New York, Manhattan. Don't recall ever having Chinese buffets in Vegas. Because I ate at all these other places in Vegas. In Florida. So, I don't recall. I guess it's really not even important. Oh, yeah, as I was telling you about, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, glad she's dead. Hallelujah and praise be. Thank God, right? Praise be. You know, would I pray for somebody like that to die? Yeah, I would. I don't play around here. I am very opinionated. There's no doubt about that. But it is what it is. Kind of a realist, don't you think? She was pro homo, pro LGBT. All abominations in the sight of the Almighty and living God. I don't accept it. I will never accept the LGBT. Even though I know people personally that are supporters of it. Nothing personal, but if you call yourself a Catholic or a Christian, you cannot, be pro and moral and support these abominations and these unnatural behaviors. Once again, it's God made man and woman. He didn't make bisexuals. He didn't make homos and lesbians and dykes and cross-dressers and transsexuals. He did not make switch hitters. Now, as far as baseball, from batting on the left or batting on the right, that's different. You could be a switch hitter that way. If you're ambidextrous, that's okay. But these other things are definitely not okay. They are not acceptable. If you ever want to get to heaven, you will not support them or be one of them. Okay? No, you cannot be like Liberace. Remember him? Oh, gosh. That was all right, but he was one of many. Cesar Romero. Unfortunately, even Paul Lynde of Hollywood Squares, he was funny, but gosh, when I heard he was, anyhow, you know what's right in the eyes of God, and we've all sinned and come short of it, but there's just some things that you just don't do, you don't support, you can't. It is good that one of our evil enemies is dead now, and we need to get somebody on that Supreme Court to get rid of Roe versus Wade. Abortion has to go completely for any reason. You want to start to help save America a little bit longer? Get rid of abortion altogether. You got to. You cannot kill your future children. You can't. It makes you a murderer or a conspiracy of a murderer, when you support it. We got to get rid of it immediately, as soon as possible. Any abortion laws have to go out the window, and life for the unborn has to be 100%, nothing less. No baby has a right to be put to death, in the womb, at any given stage during, at the point of conception, and once they're born. None. That is a demand, a commandment from heaven. Not from me, from heaven. God. You get it? Don't do it. You will perish. Don't perish with Planned Parenthood and their role. Remember, Ginsburg was part of, NOW. That is the National Organization of Some Women. She had her ties to Planned Parenthood and NARAL. Okay, you understand this. The feminist movement is an evil movement. It is not a good movement. It has nothing to do with the right to vote from 100 years ago, and equal rights and of pay and stuff like that. This was about abortion, birth control, and immorality, and murder, and licentiousness to sin. This is the kind of evil femininity that came out from the 1960s with slut hoes like Gloria Steinem, and need I go on who they all are. Don't need to mention their names. What's that title? Billie Jean King. Gosh, was she a piece of work? gosh. You all remember, if you're old enough, the tennis match between her and Bobby Riggs. Okay, look, enough.